What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with another Tales-related video. This is going to be the first real discussion I've done in a while. I did one before about Colette. I believe it's one of my first videos I made on this channel. For those who didn't know, I had a channel before. But anyways, I'm going to make this video, this discussion video, kind of testing the waters with this, because obviously a lot of the people who are subscribed to me watch my Tales-related content, so I figured I'd start doing discussions about different topics of the titles I played and stuff like that. You know, maybe stuff people have wondered about and stuff like that. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to do, if people watch this, obviously I'll check tomorrow, see how well this does, and you know, if there's a good reception to it, I'll obviously do them more frequently. If there's not so good a reception, I'll probably do them every once in a while. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and hop into this. This will contain Tales of Vesperia spoilers, so if you haven't played it yet, you're waiting until December to play it, or you just haven't played it yet at all, I would click off this video, because this will have spoilers in it. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna title this to not be very spoilery. But anyways, we are going to be talking about Raven from Tales of Vesperia. So those who have played the game obviously know at a certain point he betrays us because he was working for Alexei, because Alexei at any point could have turned off basically his heart. So in the Great War with the Antilochaea and the humans, Raven basically lost his life, but he got a second chance at life because of the I guess we can call it, I mean, it was still a Bodhi Blastia, but it was like a Blastia that wasn't powered by air. It wasn't created by the Antilochaea. It was just I guess you could say manufactured Blastia, and it basically took the place of his heart, basically. He died, his heart stopped working, a Blastia got shoved in there, and his own life force, his own remaining life force is what powers it. And the question a lot of people have is, like, how is Raven still alive at the end of the game? Because obviously, as you know, at the end of the game, all of the Blastia cores, all the air basically gets drained from them so that they can, you know, create this giant, it was like a giant, like, feather sword is what it kind of looked like. To basically stop the Autophagos. Which is funny because eventually Duke ends up helping us with that. But anyways, back to the main point. So if all of the Blastias basically just got turned back into cores without anything powering them, how was Raven still alive at the end? And the answer to that is actually very simple, and I didn't really think about it too much until recently. So powered by, like I said, it's powered by his life force. So it's not a traditional Blastia. So the whole point behind it is like I said, it's powered by Raven's life force. So as long as, you know, as long as Raven lives, whatever the rest of his lifespan is, the Blastia in his heart will continue to work. Obviously, if he uses his Blast Heart art, which is his Mystic art, it drains his life faster, so the more stress he basically puts on himself, the more he's shortening his life. They converted the Blastia cores into spirits, but because the Blastia that Raven has in his heart isn't powered by air, it wasn't turned into a spirit, and there was nothing for this weapon to take from it. How was it created? We don't actually know. I guess you could headcanon it to say that Alexei had it manufactured by someone in, like, the kind of like science tech division in the capital, but there's never any real explanation as to where Alexei got a hold of it or why he chose Raven to begin with, because if you think, the Great War was before Alexei was even the Commandant, or at least I believe, yeah, it should be before he was even Commandant, so was Alexei just thinking this far in advance that he needed this for Raven? And why Raven specifically? It's like, if you look at someone like Raven, he wasn't anyone who was particularly that special. I mean, yeah, he was, you know, he was good with a bow and arrow, he was good with a sword, you know, as Captain Schwan, he was one of the captains of the Knights, but he wasn't anything on, like, a crazy stellar level in terms of his fighting ability, but obviously his connections to the guild and his connection inside the capital basically made him a shoo-in to kind of be playing the double agent for the most part, too. Because Alexei obviously just wanted to get his hands on Estelle, so, you know, he could gain all the power, which in the end blew up in his face. But back to his core, back to Raven's core, there's probably something inside the device, because obviously most Blastias have cores, you know, that take in air, and that's how, you know, people like Carol, Yuri, Rita, Judith, that's how they all fight, is because, well, actually, Judith, no, yeah, it should still be Judith. That's how all of them basically fight, is because they have these orbs that basically give them superhuman strength and allow them to use these arts, which are just basically their special attacks. And without them, they wouldn't be able to fight the monsters that they're always fighting. But, you would think, actually, that having a device like this would shorten his lifespan more than normal. So, if he hadn't basically died in the Great War, against the Antilocheia, he would probably live a longer life than he lives with this Blastia, because I feel like it probably takes double the amount of life force for him to just live a daily life. And given the fact he's always fighting and, you know, helping out his friends, it probably drains it even double. But I think the long end of it or the short end of it is basically it's just powered by his life force, and there's no air that's being, you know, inside the Blastia. So that's why it wasn't destroyed when they used all the cores against the Autophagos. But you also gotta think, like, how long is that gonna let him live post-game? Like, he's doing all this fighting, so that's putting even extra stress, so... And he was already kind of old to begin with. I mean, I feel like Raven's probably, you know, at least in his, like, 40s or 50s, so you would think... You know, being someone who has to live with that kind of handicap, he probably doesn't have too much, you know, he probably has, like, after the game's over, he probably has, like, another 10, 15 years of his life left before his life force is completely drained and the Blastia core is just gone. He'd probably live to be, like, 60 or 70 at the most, and that's if he doesn't overdo it himself. Unless they found some kind of way to... I mean, obviously you can't replace it. He doesn't have a heart anymore. That Blastia is his heart. So unless they found a way to, like, post-game kind of lessen the strain on him, but since all the technology from the Blastias was just gone, I can't see that being a likely scenario. But that's pretty much it, guys. That is it for the first discussion video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think there's another reason I didn't come up with as to why Raven's Blastia is still working, or maybe you think there's something they could do post-game to kind of increase the lifespan for him? Let me know down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.